Welcome to the FitBiz Journey. We are here on episode 9 where we're going to talk about, so you've got your dream job and now what? We've got a couple amazing guests here today. I am Parita Patel. This is Bree Austin. She's one of our amazing clients down at the Boca Raton studio. We have Sabrina Pantano. Is that right? Got it. Also our amazing trainer at Boca Raton. And then, of course, Daniel Neary.
Hello.
So we're really excited today. These guests are going to be a big part of today's episode, and really we want to explain the importance of what to do once you've got the job. Obviously, people think that the hard part is getting the job and then that's it. They can be complacent, but this is definitely not the case, and Sabrina will tell a little bit about that. And then we're also going to learn about Bree's journey and what she's done with us so far and how she feels and whether she likes it. Hopefully, yes. So if we could start off just by having a little bit of an introduction. So Bree, if you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of how we're here today.
So I guess I started my fitness journey in about 2015 when I moved down here, and I started personal training school with Sabrina, and we instantly connected. I think around that time I was like 240 pounds, and we started training in January of 2016, and it was a long journey, but I kind of became like complacent at one point, I guess. And there was like a complete plateau. I did like another fitness program. It wasn't working for me. It was kind of like one of those online, here's the program and do it yourself type of things. But then I started working out with Sabrina some more. We still kind of weren't getting into the groove. I think a lot of it was my schooling and everything. And then she started working for you guys, and I saw like all the technology, the suits, and like within the first 3 weeks I was down like 6 inches. Wow. And like 10 pounds from like when I started training. So it completely broke that plateau, and it's been like a consistent like down since, in weight and inches since I've started.
Yeah. Wow, that's really exciting. I'm so happy to hear that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Sabrina, if you want to tell us a little bit about your journey until you found For You Fitness so far.
Oh my God. Okay. So it's been almost like since 5 months that I found you guys in my life. So it started when I decided back in, I think it was like last year, November. I was like doing my thing and teaching, and things were going great, but then I felt like I needed to change it up and be within, a company that embraced who I was as, yes, a trainer, but also as a person that wanted to do more in terms of, educating myself, but also bringing it into a culture and being able to expand off of that knowledge within, the company and with the clients. And I was looking around, and I easily could have walked into any big gym, but I just wasn't drawn to any of that. And I did have experience in the past with management, but it felt like that there was a glass ceiling with every company that I applied myself to. And then I came across For You Fitness, was hiring, and I'm like, who are they? And I did a little bit of research, and instantly was just like, this looks right up my alley, and I think I'm going to send my resume. And as soon as I saw it, I sent it, and that's when I spoke with you. Yeah. And I was speaking to another person.
I remember being nervous about that.
Yeah. And ultimately, it was the interaction that I had with you, and then when I met Daniel, that I knew that this was the company that had the culture, and I had the same values that I did, and I knew that I was going to make the right choice. It was like an instant, yes, this is where I need to go with my career. So
awesome, very glad to hear that. And before you guys think that this is a advertisement for You Fitness or something, just wanna clear it out that the reason why we have Sabrina here and Bree, because we want to point out a couple of things, and that's what we're gonna mainly talk about today. After this brief intro, is that most people, when you see it, especially in the corporate world, they do everything in their power and put in all the work to get the job that they want. And then once they get that job, then what happens is that most people just stop and plateau, if that's the right word. And the problem is that they start blaming their boss, they start blaming the market, they start blaming whatever it is. We don't have clients, we don't have this, clients leaving me, or it's just bad leads, they don't have money, or if it's in different business, then my boss is just an ass, like that kind of stuff, right? And then, but meaning the reason why they're saying that, because they're not moving up. So, but the reason why they're not moving up is because now that they got the job, they're relaxed and they just, what was their entry level, they stay there, and then they're not doing any additional work. So whatever is required from them, they just do that, but they won't add in the more work, so they can actually move up and then eventually become, let's say, the manager or whatever is open, and depends on the role, and eventually they can even become the CEO of a company. It happened with Microsoft, who came in at entry level, the current CEO, and then in 10, 15 years, he is now actually one of the richest person on earth, and he have never started a company. So the point is that that's because he went above and beyond, and that's why Sabrina is here today, because we want to talk about what to actually do once you have got your job, and don't just relax. And most people, unfortunately, just relax after they get the job, and then they blame, burn out, and leave, or get fired.
Yeah. I know we try really hard at For You Fitness to empower the trainers to take charge of their career. I feel like that's something I'm always saying and beating down. Take ownership of your career. Whatever happens to you in your life, it depends on your exact actions, not waiting and sitting around for somebody to ask you to do something. Because we won't, because everyone's got a lot going on. Everyone's got big goals that they're trying to achieve. So no one wants to just hand tasks out. You have to take ownership for yourself. And Sabrina, above all else, is on top of that, which is awesome. So hopefully that's something that all the trainers will do as well. But yeah.
Well, I just want to say, because touching upon what you said, it's not just a matter of getting a job and then just like, hey, uncork the champagne, let's pop it, let's celebrate and sit back and just hang out. It's just like you said, that's where now the work begins, the important stuff. So it's easy to just get into a job and then just kind of be part of the herd, so to speak, and be like, okay, this is what I have to do, and just mindlessly go through it. And I think a lot of times it's easy to go into autopilot mode, but it really comes down to, for myself, I found success in knowing, okay, what is my position? What is it that I'm expected to do to be successful when being hired? Because obviously, when you are applying, there's something that you're seeing in that company that you're attracted to. So obviously you could see yourself going into that company and growing, and vice versa. The people that are interviewing you see you as a potential, that you're indicating that you have some passion, you have something that that company needs in order to fulfill a position and hopefully grow. So it goes both ways. You're expected to do more than just sit there and just kick back and relax. You're expected to really say, I'm going to own this role and I'm going to be the best at it. And the best way to do it is to mindfully set your intentions every day. So plan with purpose and with passion and determination when you go and do your job. And that's how you're going to exceed the expectations of your roles and be able to continue growing.
And for a hiring manager, especially gym owners or whoever is hiring, what you just heard she saying is what you want to hear. So look for people that you hire who actually bring up or ask this. If somebody asks this question, you have the right person in front of you, because the question is that you need to get heard from the future employee of yours is, what does it take to be successful at this company? And then you know that she wants to move up and doesn't just want a job to pay her whatever rent. It's like she actually wants to grow with you or grow above you. It doesn't matter. The point is that you know that this person is here to grow and not just like check mark, I'm not have money or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And most people don't ask that question. Most people ask the question, okay, how much do I make? So most people that you hire, they're gonna ask all about the money without them putting in anything into work. But of course, the same goes to us or hiring managers too, that we of course have to invest into our employees, but you just have to be like upfront and make sure that you create some sort of a plan. But on top of that, if they don't ask how they can grow with this and where they're going, then of course that's a problem.
Yeah, totally.
So Sabrina, I'd like to learn if you can go back in time to 5 months ago to when you started, right? How have you adjusted your time to continue to be growing towards what you need in the company? So obviously you started off doing the education side of things, right? After that, then it was more like, all right, Sabrina, you got this now. So how do you feel like things have changed? And Bree, if you want to jump in every now and then and explain how your journey has changed along with Sabrina's in the past 5 months. I hope that question makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Well, obviously, when I first started up, it was a lot of learning, okay? Like, obviously, getting familiar with our culture and the company values and, what our mission is. So really learning, it doesn't matter how much experience you have either. You could be new or you can be a veteran trainer, but there's always something you have to learn, especially when you're starting off somewhere. So in the beginning, I was like, hey, let me learn as much as I can. And obviously learning, you're going to be able to, learn new things, we'll say, that you wouldn't have maybe done on your own, such as for myself, I found myself at a point where I knew a lot of stuff, but I wasn't putting it into action. So, structuring my day-to-day stuff. So I know my expectations as a trainer. I need to program really well, connect with my clients, and obviously I have reports like everyone else and day-to-day stuff that is expected of me. So knowing I had these expectations, I was learning, but I was also putting into action when I was going into work. Okay, what do I have to do today that's going to make a difference by the end of the day? And that's all going to add up to the end of the week, and weeks turn into a month. And this is what they want from me on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis, and then at the end of the month. The
fact that you think about that is awesome, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, but that is fantastic, because that's how you're setting yourself up for success and not getting overwhelmed. So that's awesome to hear.
Awesome. Yeah. So it's like it was about obviously working intelligently and not harder necessarily. Doesn't mean you have to be there all day and all night. If you plan ahead, then you're going to be able to reach those expectations and goals in a smarter way. So that's I guess how I've been going about things, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Should I?
Yeah.
I'm gonna open the door. I'll be right back. Pause.
Yeah, that's. I thought I had seen someone at the corner of my eye, and then I felt.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everyone.
There's no chairs. No, just
No,
kidding. There's
there's-
a chair over there.
Either office is open.
I want to hang with you.
Okay.
Okay. So, where were we? Well, anyways, okay, I can start it through. So, Sabrina, what would you recommend for personal trainers, or for that matter, let's just go with personal trainers for now, who got their first job, what they should do, what questions should they ask, or what they should actually look for once they get hired?
I would say the first thing you should do is look for mentors or anyone that's in the company that's been there and you can learn from, because you want to learn as much as you can, and ask questions. And organization. I think this is the biggest piece to being a successful trainer. Because when you first start off, yes, you're going to start off slow like everyone, and you're going to make mistakes, and that's okay too. Just note that you're going to make mistakes, and those are opportunities to learn. But then being organized is another, really important part of being a successful trainer, because eventually you start, getting clients, and sessions it goes from one session to 10 to 20 and so forth. And it's really hard to keep track of what you're doing on a day-to-day if you are not organized. This is where that day-to-day, preparation is very important in terms of being successful every single day and not burning out. Because if you're not planning, what's going to happen is you're always going to try to keep up and catch up. And then next thing you know it, you're all over the place and your stuff's everywhere and you're trying to put it all back together, and you're spending time that you could have used to maybe do something on your own, hang out, whatever it is, read. Otherwise, you're just catching up, and then next thing you know, you're back into the cycle of training, catching up. So organization's huge.
How about ongoing education? Improving yourself and others around you, including your clients?
Well, one, it's important that you keep up with the trends. Not all trends are good, but understanding that we are in an industry where we're helping people, and like I said, there's people that have been in this since the beginning, so they're writing books, they're going to speak at seminars, they're doing workshops, and a lot of this stuff is free. So really, it's just at your fingertips, and it's really important that you at least, besides going on Instagram and YouTube and just kind of looking at workouts, that you're really looking at, people that have credibility behind them, and finding good, obviously certifications are important, but it doesn't matter how many certifications you have necessarily.
Exactly.
Definitely.
So don't get caught up in
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of stuff out there for free. People are like, I don't have money for certification. Well, you don't need it. Just have a good one behind you and keep up with it by getting your credits, because you need to keep up with your credits, but learn as much as you can with the people around you, from your clients, from your sessions, and so forth.
It is the same with what you just said about a certification. If you just step outside of the gym industry right now, the same is true with like just any education for that matter, because not everybody went to college and basically, you know, had an awesome job just because they went to college. The point is that the person who actually makes it without college degree would also make it with college degree just as much. But a person who doesn't make it with or without college, with college degree won't make it without. Does that make sense, right? Or the person, because it's really just what you're doing after that. That's just like additional information that you have learned. But most people just don't take action and do anything, you know, about it, or they get a job and eventually they get fired because of what we just talked about today. So that's why it's so important to understand that it's not about a certification, and nobody hires just for certification, you know, to have anybody at any job.
Right.
I remember. Tom, one of my clients that I used to train, he was telling me that, who's very successful right now, but when he got his first job, he graduated from like a really prestigious university. I totally forgot which one, so I'm not going to name it, but it was a big deal. So the first job that he got, when he went to the interview, he was like very, very like, you know, shoulders out, chest up, everything that I went to this school. So he expected to just get the job. And then the person's first question, okay, so why should I hire you? And then he's like, well, what do you mean? Here, look, this is the school I went to. And then, okay, so you don't have anything to say or what? And then I can see the school and I don't care. Right. That's literally what they said to him. And then he like got crushed, and then he didn't get like a job for a long time. And then he like, I think, worked at a restaurant or something. But after that, obviously, he turned it around and he realized he still haven't used his college degree until today, and he's ultimately successful, like up in the high millions. But I'm not saying not to go to college or not get obviously certifications. I'm just saying that's just a tool, and it won't change, you know, your success or your level or anything in fitness. Just like buying a treadmill at home, just because you bought it, it's just a tool. Just like schooling, you're not gonna get fit unless you use it.
That's so true. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of personal trainers, I feel, they've built their experience and they've seen X, Y, and Z results with their clients. And so when they go into a job at a gym, they're like, oh, I know everything. Like, I got my whole routine. I know what my, what's the right word I'm trying to look for? Their style of training. So they go into it thinking they got it, but how do you feel about that?
And before, sorry, good you brought that up, because it's a perfect thing that when you get your first job, right, and let's say you went to like a prestigious university or get a master's degree in exercise and science or whatever you got, right? Make sure that you're open-minded, because there was so many gyms that are going to, you come on board, just like us, for example, and they're going to tell you that, yes, it's great that it's in that book, but what we are going with is proof and science and experience. So, and if that doesn't align what you have learned, you have to let it go. And then you have to be open-minded, because not everything is good what you read in a book. Or look at all these books. Not every information in this book, look, take this one is from, you know, Tim Ferriss, but maybe half of it is like truly useful and good. And then just same thing with your education that you take. So that's why you need to be open-minded and take, what do you call it, criticism? Like constructive criticism? Constructive criticism. So make sure you take it well and you adjust. But go ahead, Sabrina. I just wanted to bring this up because it's important.
Yeah, I definitely agree. You don't want to be defined and known to be like, for instance, like, I'm the kettlebell girl, or like, you know, and then you find out like kettlebells have a material that they no longer can use the kettlebell because it's like bad for your health, and then what are you going to do? You don't have kettlebells anymore. Just saying, like, something as ridiculous as that. So there are a lot of tools out there, and they're great, and I'm all about trying all different things. But it comes down to is don't get stuck. Like, this is what I know, and that's it. It's a box, and I'm going to like hoard it, and if anyone attacks it, that's it. I'm not going to have it. You know, you have to be open and ready to listen to what others say and maybe expand a little bit. So,
Just think, what want to say?
I was going to say, I'm sure Bree knows firsthand what the changes have been.
She totally knows.
Oh my God, yeah, because it's been an interesting, because when I met her, it was kind of, we were doing like the NASM program, so everything was NASM. And when I first met her, I was actually like in this like cast thing. I had a partially torn meniscus, everything. So our training, like there are days I'll come in and my knee will be completely just, and she has this plan for me that we can't do it anymore because it's leg day and my knee's bothering me. So we have to completely shift, or I'm constantly getting hurt in martial arts. So I think that
not with me in a martial arts.
So it's in self-defense class. So her being adaptive is huge for me. Like taking some, like she's got, the thing for me is like my health is my value, and like having a trainer, like for me, finding a trainer that has a bunch of certs is important, but then also can you take the best parts of all of those things and provide me with the best service? Because it's like picking a doctor. I'm not going to go to them just because they have a good degree, but how do they implement that medicine to best fit my needs?
Yes.
And I think Sabrina always does like a good job of that, and that's
cool.
But again, it's not just her too. Like another trainer that's in the Boca location too, I see him doing similar things for his clients and educating them in different ways. So that's super important for a client.
Let's hear that. And it's just like everybody just said this, but it's important that you cannot get stuck and stop in your own word, because think about why humans are the ones who own this word right now is because we evolve. So as soon as we stop evolving, we are dead, just like all the other animals that went extinct because they stopped evolving. So in our case, and your case, in the job is the same. And that's why, look at the companies, the top 500 companies right now, like the Fortune magazine, you will see in 10 years that more than half of those will be gone. Yeah. And that they could be $1 billion company, they still can go extinct if they stop evolving. I mean, look at all the companies that closed down because of Amazon. They stopped evolving. They thought they got it, like Macy's and Toys R Us and all these companies.
Sad.
I mean, it's because they stopped, evolving. So, and the same gonna be with you. If you stop evolving at your company and you do the same thing over and over, it's gonna be extinct.
And that's gonna be noticed. So what you put into it, that saying what you put in is what you're gonna get. So it's like you can put in this energy. If you put in a good energy, passion into everything you do, not only are your clients going to see it, your voice should also exude this passion, because it's very contagious. And as if you're going in with this passion and people are going to notice. They're going to notice. And if it's not good energy, they're going to notice. So if you're doing your job, you're doing amazing. You're going beyond the expectations. It's because you're passionate about it. No one's putting, a whip to you and saying, do this, this, and this. You want to do this because you're passionate about it. And every day, your interactions, those are the interactions that are continuously going to fuel your passion for you and remind you why you're doing it. So it's really important that you remember what you put into it, you're going to get back. Yeah. And people are going to notice. So just remember, if you're doing really good at your job now, maybe this guy here to my right, I don't know, maybe he sees something in me that he's like, if she's doing this really good, imagine what she could do in another position. So it's really important.
And that's what three things actually. One is that think of it in a way that if somebody's good at one thing, you have to look at their strength, because if, let's say, they're amazing personal trainers, it doesn't mean they will be amazing at managing personal trainers, because they might not have those skills. So don't judge a person with their current success on a job that does not require any of that they just completed. So that's one. But second, always look at their strengths so you can find the new openings for them and then have them to get there and coach them. It's going to involve obviously lots of work and energy. But then thirdly, what you just said, that you get rewarded, is the same. Just think of it universally. So look at successful people and look at unsuccessful people, or just look at any companies out there. It's almost like if you come up with something that solves a huge problem, almost instantly you're going to get rewarded. There's so many companies that out there just open up, like Amazon, and then obviously didn't take like this because it's a lots of process. But when you come up with something or invent something, right away you get rewarded. If you do something bad or the opposite or half-assed or not right and all that, then almost like you get penalized right away by the universe. Is because just what you just said also. Yeah. Same thing in the job every day. Yeah.
It's like even you started your own little clothing company, and right away people were like, oh, this is exactly what we needed. And that's awesome. You put it out there and the universe has been giving you so much stuff.
So it's actually my shirt and my hat.
Awesome.
Literally.
Perfect. We'll tag it.
It's all tied up, see?
And on top of that with the universe and everything that we talk about, that what is good and bad, you just also think about it in a way that, because you mentioned how you stay motivated and everything, that don't think of it like, let's say the market crashes and everything, it's almost like a restart, but energy cannot be destroyed. So think of it that you have to have the energy up, and what you have to think about is that when these things happen, something really bad happens, then don't get emotional. Think about it as, is this bad for me as a feeling or whatever, or is this bad for the world? Because you always have to think universally. So a good thing we brought this universal up, because always think like bigger, not just yourself. So just because it's bad for you right now, like what things happen to me or whatever, you have to think of a bigger picture. Is it bad for the company? Is it bad for the clients? Is it bad for the universe? Is it bad for, you know what I mean? So, or is it really good for them and it just sucks for us? Well, then we just have to move on and put in the work and get over it, you know?
Right.
So, but most people judge good and bad as they're feeling instead of like to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I want to reel us in a little bit. Sabrina gave advice, because that's what we wanted to talk about today, on what to do once you've got your dream job. So she talked about the importance of organization. She talked about having a mentor in the company that you now work for. I wanted to bring up a situation where we had a new role open up at For You Fitness, and Sabrina immediately wanted to get more information about it, but then decided that it wasn't a good fit for her and decided not to pursue it. So one thing I wanted to point out is the courage it takes to say no to something, even though that would be a next step and a level up, but it wasn't the right fit for her, so she said no. So one, the courage to say no. Two, the fact that she even took the initiative to get more information, which is not something that I saw in the rest of the company necessarily, but that's why Sabrina's here specifically. So I wanted to ask you your thoughts and what made you even first look into it, and then what made you say no, and how to give advice to others about what you did there.
Yeah. Well, I'm always looking to, again, like see where I can take myself to the next level, so to speak. And obviously when an opportunity is presented, even if it's something that I'm not 100% sure about, I want to know about it. And it's about being curious in life, ultimately. You have to stay curious. So I like to walk with my head up and see what's going on around me. And this was something that was, being created. So of course I want to know what it is. And of course I'm interested. So I envision myself doing that, first of all. This is how I ultimately made my decision.
Keyword, envision.
Envision myself, yeah. So I envisioned myself and I thought, okay, let me see how it could look. And I saw all the good in it. And then I was like, but what does this ultimately feel good? There's the feeling part. Yeah. Does it feel good in the sense is it fueling my passion? Is that going to give me that feeling that yes, this is fueling my passion? Well, I realized it wasn't the one for me exactly. So there was no rush. Sometimes we want to go so fast.
Yeah. Absolutely. They just want to get to the top.
Just want to go so fast. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I've been doing this training for a while. I have a lot of stuff figured out. I'm ready. But guess what? It was just not the right opportunity. And so I thought of one, not only for myself, but also for the company. Why would I waste our company's time in going through that? And then to get there and be like, you know what, guys? Nah, I got cold feet now. So knowing what I want was important. And I think anyone, this goes for anyone, you should know what you want or have an idea. And I've also experimented. So I've already been in different places in my life where I've tried things. So I'm taking those experiences and learning from them and what I want and what I necessarily want to go for in life. And so that was another factor, learning from my past and making sure that I don't repeat certain things, Yeah. So that's what helped me understand. Okay, now.
And Justin from the previous, Justin, who was on our one of our newest hires and was on our previous episode, he actually mentioned that his weakness is to jumping into things too fast. So you don't want to do that.
No.
A little patience goes a long way for most parts of life.
Yes.
Almost all of them.
I think that's so true. Yeah. We can all learn from that. You know? I know I say it to people, but I know you can say it to me and I'll be like, yes.
And to clients and everything, right? You've experienced that yourself, right, Bree?
Everybody wants everything, money, fitness level, relationships, whatever, or kids grow up already, or everything. They want it right away. And then in business too, and personal and everything, everybody expects to get paid right away, and everybody expects to be on top already. When you actually forget the 120 other steps that all the other people who made it up there actually took. And the work it took, So that's what most people don't see, and that's why so many entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs we call them, they say all over the internet.
We could be here forever because we love talking to each other, but we're going to wrap it up. And to you, of course. So we want to wrap it up. Sabrina, do you have any final thoughts that you wanted to give advice to all the personal trainers, business owners out there on what to do once they've got the job?
Yeah. Know what your job is, and when learning about it, see yourself doing it on a day-to-day, and if you don't know how to be the best at certain parts of the job, then ask, or go online, ask us, send us a message, just reach out to people. There's just, you have so much out there, so much information to be successful at being a trainer. So we are in a day and age where our jobs as trainers is so important, and we don't want to just be every other trainer. We want to be the best that we can be for our clients, and that's ultimately going to be, our success. So take action on a day-to-day. Set yourself little goals that you know that it's not just making a little list and checking it off. It's saying, I'm going to do these 2 things today, and it's going to make my day successful. And ultimately, that's going to, fuel you to continue going. And like I said, challenge yourself. And if you hit a wall, don't sit there and just be like, oh, I'm going to feel down and out about this, and just continue with my emotions by going through things. Reach out and don't stop learning, because life is a whole lesson, so you can continuously learn and apply yourself.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you very much. We really, really, really appreciate you for listening, watching, wherever you are, reading. And we would just really appreciate also if you could please click on like or subscribe or share, and also review our podcast so we can improve also and learn from what we have made as mistakes or what you want to hear from. Just like Sabrina said, reach out to us and message. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you got your dream job.
Okay, we totally messed it up.
So now you got your dream.
No, so you got your dream job.
you got.
I messed it
Okay.
up. Now what?
And
Swipe up.
1, 2, 3.
So you got your dream job,
and now what?
Swipe up to find out. That's okay. Don't worry about it. We cut that part.
Perfect.